But that depends on each wishes, of course. Wait, what? Hello and welcome to my new YouTube video. I'm Marie, I'm an au pair living in California, and I'm talking about my experience. Today we're talking about how to become an au pair. Au pair just in general, so it doesn't matter if you want to become an au pair in the United States, in Australia or in Europe, it doesn't matter. Of course my focus leads a little bit more to the United States because I'm an au pair in the United States. I'm with an agency. That's also like something we have to compare, going with an agency or going without an agency. But I did some research and I think I can talk about everything kind of, so let's go. First question first, can I become an au pair? Because not everybody can. It also depends again if you're with an agency or not. If you're going with an agency, for example, to the United States, then you have to be between 18 and 26 years old. Also, I just want to mention that you can only become an au pair in the United States with an agency. You can become an au pair in Europe or in Australia without an agency, so they have different rules and requirements. If you're going with an agency, you also need to finish a certain school degree. If you're going with an agency, you also need to pass a physical exam with the doctor. With the doctor. It's not really an exam though. It's more like a checkup, so he's just like checking you how healthy your body is, which like mostly everybody is fine. The agency just want to get sure you're healthy enough to become an au pair. And of course the most important thing is that you have to provide babysit hours. I think it's 200 hours with the agency I went. If you're a girl, I think it's more if you're a boy. Don't ask me why they separate those things. It doesn't make any sense to me. I guess there is a reason, otherwise they wouldn't do it, but I don't want to talk about that in the 21st century. Anyway, those were some facts for the United States. If you decide to go to, for example, Europe, you can look up the internet page Au Pair World. They're showing everything like in detail for each country because it depends on each country where you want to go. They have different rules and requirements, and I can show you how you can look that up. World, you can go up here to for au pairs, click on become an au pair, then you lead to this page. It shows you general facts about becoming an au pair, but we are going to go to this part, where would you like to be an au pair, and you can do the country check. You can also reach this kind of page if you go to for au pairs and go on country check. You can give some general facts like your nationality, which is in my case German, your age. I'm not married, I do not have children, and here you can check the language that you can speak, which is in my case, let's just do German and English. And Au Pair World is showing you the countries where you can become an au pair. You could click on each country now and look up their requirements they have. And that's it. Pretty cool page. The next step we should talk about is the purpose. So why do you want to go abroad? You should be sure about why do you want to do it. Is it about travel? Is it about the culture? Or is it just because you have a gap year, you need a gap year, or you just have some months until university starts, or you just want to save money? Because for example, the minimum time of being an au pair in the United States is 12 months. You cannot go for less than 12 months to the United States. Technically you could go, but then you would have to break up the program in the middle and you would not get a certification. I don't know if that's the best solution, but if you do it in Europe or in Australia, you could go for like 2 or 3 months. I don't think there is like a certain amount that you have to be there. So if you just have like 5 months left until university starts, then you should think about to do an au pair year in Europe or in Australia. Jumping to the next point, and another question you should really like question yourself is, do you really want to become an au pair in that country you decided on? Because mostly you have never been to that country or you have never lived in that country. It can be really different to the country you're from, which can be good but also difficult. All the culture shock and whatever can happen. You can also look up on AuPair World the country you want to go to and look up your salary, your working hours and your free time, because this depends also on the country. And if that does work with you, then you should Google a little bit about the culture. I would give you that advice. Why do always come guys in front of my window when I'm filming a video? Like literally that never happened except when I film my videos. Where was I? Oh, I need to go to have dinner. The sun is already setting, so I don't know how the light will be after that, but I need to finish this video and my video is supposed to go online in 2 days. See ya. I'm back. The next question you should ask yourself is, when can you leave your home country and how long you want to stay? I mean, we kind of already talked about how long you want to stay abroad, so I'm gonna keep that part short, but you should think about when you want to leave your home country. For example, do you want to go when you finish general school, or do you want to keep going to school, getting a higher degree, or maybe go working and save some money? Because if traveling is one of your reasons to go abroad, then it's not wrong to save money. Coming back to the questions how long you want to stay abroad, you just have to keep in mind that in the United States you have to do at least 12 months. You can extend for 6, 9 or 12 more months, so you can be an au pair a maximum time of 24 months, like 2 years. That's different in Australia and in Europe. For Europe you can look it up on the internet page for AuPair World, and for Australia I can put a link down below for all the visa types you can get for Australia. The next thing you should think about is going with an agency or going without an agency. I think it's more safe to go with an agency because you just have an extra layer of security, because the agencies check the host families, like their background, and you always have a consultant living near your house which can help you if something really bad happens or if you just have complications with your host family. Another advantage of going with an agency is that you connect to people really quick and easy. Like right at the beginning when they're trying to set you up with your application, you're trying to match with host families or whatever, there are like already existing groups on Facebook or WhatsApp or wherever, and you can join those groups and can find friends immediately. At the latest, when you go to training school, which is also a requirement to become an au pair in the United States, you need to attend training school. That's like 1 week of school where you repeat and learn some things about childcare and healthcare, which you have to attend with other au pairs, so you're in one classroom with other au pairs. Usually it's in person in New York 1 week before you arrive to your host family, but since COVID they're doing it online. I don't know when they will go back to in person, which is way cooler, I can say. I did it online and it wasn't a lot of fun for me, but I met one girl there. When did I do training school? Like 2 years ago, and we're still in contact. We just met for the first time because she was stuck in Germany because of COVID almost 2 years ago. It's so crazy, and we have never seen each other except today
in person.
Yeah, I have seen you in the Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel like that we have never seen each other before.
No, I don't think so too.
My phone just died. I have to charge it now, which means I cannot use my microphone anymore. That's how it is to be a YouTuber with low equipment. Well, last thing I want to say to this topic, agency or not, is that if you're not going with an agency, just to get sure that you of course have like a written contract with your host family, so everything is like set up, and if something went wrong or is different, then you talked about it first, you have it like written down, so you are on the safe side. And of course you should like call them with FaceTime, starting a real conversation with them and not just like emailing them. Just getting sure that you're really getting along with that person, or with the whole family, of course. Finding a host family. This part mostly goes to au pairs who are not with an agency, because if you have an agency, everything kind of runs automatic. It's more about if you're not with an agency, you have the opportunity to choose a family wherever you want to. For example, Europe, you can choose a country, you can choose where do you want to live in that country, and if it should be more the countryside or the bigger cities, small cities, maybe just a village. Think about the weather you want. What kind of host family do you want? How many kids do you want? How old should they be? And be sure about how many kids you want. Because I signed up that I would be fine with 5 kids. how should I be fine with 5 kids? I'm almost dying with 2 kids. No, I'm just kidding. Of course, it could be also like the family has 5 kids, but you're not taking care of the 5 kids because 2 or 3 of them are already like teenagers or grown-ups and whatever. But still, you should be sure about how many kids you can take care of. You should think about the age of the kids. Like, do you want to take care of babies or toddlers? Do you have experience in that kind of age? Or do you want to have older kids? Also, if you're going with an agency and you want to take care of babies or toddlers like up to 2 years old, then you need to be infant qualified. You need to show proof that you have taken care of kids in that kind of range, like 0 to 2 years old. Another thing is, can you take care of kids with special needs? Also, a lot of parents are single parents, so just a mom or just a dad. Are you fine with that too? Or are you feeling uncomfortable with that? My personal recommendation for that is that you shouldn't just decline single parents. I know that some au pairs just do it, but you have never talked to them. Like, give it a try. If you feel uncomfortable with them, then you still can not go to that family. Talk to them and decide later. And another thing which is kind of important is, you're going, for example, to Europe, the English level is not really advanced in every country. I don't want to minimize it on a country though. It obviously depends on each family. So some families will not be able to really speak English fluently. On the one hand, it's fine, but on the other hand, you really need to communicate to your host families to build a good relationship with them, or if there is like a misunderstanding, you can communicate it with them. So communication is really, really important, and if they cannot speak English really, really well and you do not find a way to communicate with them anyhow, this can be a problem. That's the step where you realize that you're really an adult. Your health insurance is mostly covered with the agency if you go with an agency, but maybe you want to add some extra stuff. For example, with my agency, some things are not really good covered just because those kind of insurance are really expensive. For example, dentist. Mostly you don't need it, but I know some au pairs who would have need an extra insurance for that. If you're not with an agency, of course, do not get like all of the insurance you could get, because that is like super expensive and you don't need everything. And also pay attention to what are you signing up, which is like kind of tricky with my insurance here. So for example, if you go skiing or snowboarding, you're only covered right after an accident happened. So if an accident happened, you hurt yourself, then directly go to the doctor. If you think it's not that bad and like days or weeks after it went really bad and then you go to the doctor, then it's too late for the insurance, because the insurance is like, well, you didn't go immediately, like an accident emergency, so we're not covering it anymore. General health stuff that I would recommend you to do it, and that you have to do if you're going with an agency, is getting all the vaccinations you can get. You're going to a different, not only to a different country, you're going to a different continent. Different animals, food, everything. Like the whole environment is different. So you may need different vaccinations that you have already gotten when you were younger, and you have to like fresh it up. Or maybe new vaccines that you have never gotten. Yeah, that's my recommendation. Like, it's totally up to you, except if you're going with an agency, the agency will tell you which vaccinations you need and which not, but otherwise it's totally up to you. If you need or bring medication from your home country, then be sure that you're allowed to bring them. Some medication needs a signed document, signed paper from your doctor, which should be in English. And if you need special medication, I would suggest you to bring all the medication that you need for the certain time that you stay abroad to bring with you. Otherwise, you can just bring the recipe. Is it called recipe? Like the note that you have to give to the pharmacy. But maybe this country where you go to doesn't have exactly that medication and they give you like similar ones or whatever. So I would just bring that medication that you need. Visa. Maybe the most complicated thing. It seems like, but actually it's not that complicated. If you're with an agency, they tell you the process about it, the to-do list. You just need to follow it, go to the embassy, get your visa, and you're done. If you're not going with an agency, you can go to Au Pair World again, and they show you everything you need. If you're planning to go to Australia, then I set a link below where you come to an internet page where it shows you all the different kind of visa types you can get in Australia. Another thing which is really important is, of course, your passport. You should get sure that this passport is valid through your whole stay abroad, so it shouldn't expire in the middle of your staying abroad time. That would be really bad. And also, if you're planning to extend your stay, be sure that your passport is also valid for that time. Another document you need to get is an international driver's license. You should also look up the rules and the laws, which tells you how long you're allowed to use your international driver's license. Because, for example, in the United States, there are some states, for example California, where your international driver's license is only valid for the first 3 months, and then you need to make a California driver's license, like I did. Same goes for Australia, and if I find links for that, then I'm gonna put that link down below too. Facebook is key if you're deciding becoming an au pair. Doesn't matter if you go with an agency or without an agency, look up Facebook groups. You can find so many friends or travel buddies, even though host families. If you're not with an agency, you can find host families and Facebook groups. Like, you set a post and you will get connected to host families really fast. I can write down some keywords in the info box for you with which words you can look up the Facebook groups, but this is something that I really recommend to you. And that's it! I hope it didn't bother you the same like it bothered me with the dark light. Anyway, it is what it is. I am still not professional. I will go back to Germany in 2 months and everything will look different then. Maybe I will even get my own apartment if I have a job then. I hope you enjoyed that video. Please do not forget to subscribe. See you next week. Bye!